Okay, we come a long way this week. There's been a lot of videos, I know, and there's a lot, it's kind of a heavy week with a lot of new stuff. And I know it's late in the semester and it's hard to stay focused on all this, but I beg you to do so. You want to know how to modulize a program. You're expected to do so starting now and every course you take programming wise, the rest of your curriculum. Okay? In this particular video, what I want to do is kind of do two things. Number one, I want to walk through this code step by step and want you to see how it works, okay? I'm going to do that by actually using the debugging tools. If you recall, a few weeks ago, I introduced you to debugging. I don't know if you use them or not. I can't really force you to use them, but I'm hoping that you practiced them a few weeks ago like we asked you to do. As I told you a few weeks ago in those videos, debugging, you may look at those small programs and say, I can figure out my problems without using these debugging tools. I probably agree with you. Things are going to change now, I promise you. Now that you're breaking up your program and you're passing data and you're receiving it either by ref or by val, things are going to go wrong. And it's going to be really hard to eyeball the issue. You really want to know how to debug. Okay, so make sure you're doing this and you make sure you know how to do it and you keep practicing. Okay, if you're having issues and you don't understand debugging, please contact your instructor so we can help you, because number one, it's going to save you hours and hours of time. I can just promise you that once you learn how to debug. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a control break right there, or a break right there, right? And I'm going to go ahead and start this program. And again, I want you to see how this is working, okay? And so in this case here, we'll go ahead and say we want some accessories and we want to pluralize. We have a base price of $10,000 and a trade-in of $1,000. This was put on there a long time ago to kind of show you how to do a string, so we're not going to worry about that. We're going to hit calculate. As you see, we went to the button calculate procedure. This is the event procedure. We declared all these variables. As you see, as I hover over this, because I can do this, because I stopped my program right here before it even called this, it basically, everything is zero. My Boolean, as you see, is true. Make sure when you declare that Boolean, you set it to true, okay? All right. As I told you before, when you're debugging, if it's yellow, it has not executed yet. So now to go to the very next thing, you want to hit function 11. So in this case here, you're going to hit function 11. And it's going, as you see here, it's calling get and validate input. And it goes down to get and validate input. It passed this data down. Now in this case here, this was 0. And as you see, it receded as 0. And so Boolean validate is true. So I passed down those values. I'm receiving them by ref because I'm going to change them, and we'll watch them change here. So in this case here, we'll go down to, whoops, I keep hitting the wrong one, okay? And we're going to call get and validate base price. This is how I said my program is going to work based upon my structure chart, correct? It goes down here, my base price is 0, I'm passing 0, my Boolean is still true, and so on. As you see this here, I'm going to, it is numeric because my base price as I hover over it is $10,000. So it's going to take this and move that to that variable I pass. So this base price is filling up that variable. And as you see, that variable is now $10,000, okay? I walk through it, I end the sub, it comes back up. It's going to see if everything was good from my previous validation, and it was. My base price is now set at $10,000 there. Do you see that? So it passed it back up to there. So in a sense, what it did was it did its work and it passed back up a valid price and it kept the Boolean validated to true because everything is good. Get the idea? Okay. We'll do F11 again. We're on DoTrade. Same type thing. It walked through, got everything well. Okay, we can actually hover over this. My trade is 1,000. My Boolean validate is true. And watch it. It's going back up to here again. Just like I told you here, okay? That what this is doing is it's calling this down, and this is calling this. And then once it does its work, it goes back up to here. And then it calls this. Once this does this work, it says, okay, I'm done. Sorry about that. And then it's going to go back up to the main routine. Watch it work. Okay, it's back up to main routine. Look at these variables now, $10,000, $1,000, and it's true, meaning all the data was good. It's going to check to see if it's true, and in this case it is. And now it's going to call it's going to call, I can say this, calculate car price. 3 C's in a row, not really easy to say. Okay, and so in this case here, let's go back up here for a second. It's going to pass down the base price of $10,000. It's going to pass down the trade of $1,000. Then it's going to pass down all these empty outputs. These are still local, right? So I'm passing down the empty outputs. And so what this calculate car price is going to do is take my inputs and create and calculate the outputs for me. She's going to fill these buckets up that I'm passing down. Does that make sense? Once again, go look at that the Visio, this one right here. I'm sorry. Go look at this Visio here I provided you that actually has how that data is being passed down, and make sure you understand that. Okay, the valid price and trade, the empty AF price, tax, subtotal, and total. See that right there? And when it's all done, all this is going to come back up, all calculated, ready to go, and the main routines, and I'm going to pass that over to display. See how that works? Hopefully that helps you understand this. Okay? All right, cool. Let's go back to our program. All right, so in this case here, where are we? We're down here now, where I calculate car price. Well, calculate car price, I broke it down into calculate AF price, calculate tax, and so on. As you see, my base price is received by val, because all I'm going to do now is read it. I'm not changing it. I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to read it. Same thing as trade. All my other ones are by ref, because I'm physically going to change and hopefully put totals in those actual buckets. Okay, does that make sense? Let's watch it work. It goes down, calculate AF price. By AF price, I broke up also. In this case, I passed down the AF price, and that was by ref. I want to change it. So in this case, I've actually received it by ref. And watch, so it comes here now, and it does. Did I want a stereo? I did. Did I want my AF price? I did. And what you'll see here is that DB AF price is now $3,000 because I accumulated all three of those together. I come back up, and as you'll see, my AF price now is $3,000, and I'm going to be passing it down now to calculate finish. There's calculate finish. It received it as $3,000. It's going to check to see. Right now, I think I want it pluralized, and it's going to add the pluralized price, $500 to it, and now it's up to $3,500. It comes back to this. It comes back to calculate car price, and you'll see my AF price is now $3,500. I was able to change it because I received it by ref. Do you see that? I'm going to go down and calculate my tax. In this case, I got my $10,000 on my base price that was passed to here, and my AF price, which I calculated from here, and I'm going to pass my double tax, okay, which is 0 right now. I'm going to have this fill up that double tax bucket. I go down here, and here it is right here. I received it by val, by val. I'm not changing these two. I'm just reading them. But I am going to change the double tax to how double tax right here. I'm going to change that, so I received that by ref. I hit F11. Once again, if it's yellow, it hasn't executed yet. So I need to hit F11 to get by it, and you'll see my tax is now this. So my base price, $10,000, plus my AF price, $3,500, times my tax rate, which was a constant of 7%, and that gave me my tax of $945. Is this making sense? I come back up here, I pass down my base price, my AF price, and my subtotal and my tax. My subtotal is what I wanted to fill up, because that's what I'm doing here. I'm calculating my subtotal. As you see, my subtotal is by ref, but everything else is by val. There's 10,000, there's 3,500. My subtotal right now will be 0, and my tax is $945. I'm going to add all three of these together and create my subtotal. So F11, F11 again. My subtotal is now $1,445. Remember, you can hover over these variables to see what's in them as you're going through it. So as you're debugging, okay, trying to find your problem, you're not racing through it. You need to analyze every situation to try to find your problem. All right? Learn how to do that. So it's 1445 F11. I come back up here, I'm going to calculate my total. In this case here, once again, my total amount due will be by rep because I'm going to change it. Everything else is by val because all I'm going to do is read it. Okay, there's my amount due right here. So my subtotal 1445, my trade was this, so my amount due is 13,445. It looks pretty good. I come here, I'm done with my calculate car price. I'm now going to pass down 3,500. My subtotal is 1,000. I'm sorry, my subtotal of 1445. My tax of 945 and my amount due of 1345. I'm literally just passing this down. As I told you before, you don't need to break out display totals. If you're not going to do anything special, the only thing you're going to do is just put them to your labels, keep it like that, and you will see when this is all done now. Basically, I hit my end sub. It's going to go back to the screen. All my local variables will now fall out of memory, and there you go. That's the program. All right. So based upon this particular video, my recommendation is you should be doing the same thing to my example program. Watch it work. Take all the things we talked about this week, from understanding local variables to modularization to breaking everything down to receiving data by ref or by val and so on, passing data accordingly, and make sure you understand how this whole thing flows and how it works and so on. And then once you're ready, you need to try it, okay? Again, you're going to have to practice it. We're going to give you plenty of opportunities to practice it the rest of this semester. And again, you're going to practice it pretty much the rest of your career. The sooner you can grasp onto this, the better. As I told you before, I've taught this a long time. I've been teaching a long time now. And, I see people avoiding this and not liking this, finding this to be a little bit tedious work. I sort of agree that the part's tedious, but this is programming. This is how it's done. And so don't avoid it. It's not going to go away, okay? I've seen people avoiding not understanding how to pass data correctly and when to pass data, how to receive it. You cannot avoid that. Don't think you can create these procedures and not pass data and make everything class level variables. That won't work. You can't do that. Do it correctly, learn how to do it correctly now, and you'll be fine. If you run into issues and you have a lot of questions, contact your instructor for help, okay? But do everything you can to seek and understand everything here. And once you grasp it, you got it. And you're going to do well the rest of the way out.